showgram. Ladies and gentlemen, my first guest this evening is a restaurateur, best-selling author, and host you know from diners, drive-ins, and dives, and Guy's Grocery Games. Please welcome to the Late Show, the mayor of Flavortown, His Honor, Guy Fieri.
Your Honor, Your Honor,
Oh, please.
Your Honor.
Maestro.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hey, nice to meet you. I've enjoyed your diners, your drive-ins, and your dives, and
Divers, drive-ins, and dine-ins.
Well, yeah, sure, all those things.
I screwed it up forever. That's why I call it Triple D.
Triple D, baby.
I could never close the show because I would say, and right here, right now on Drivers, Dive-ins, and Diners.
Yes.
So Triple D became good.
Can you dispel some rumors here?
Okay, let's get into it.
For years now,
Yes.
I have heard that this is mostly ranch dressing up here. Is that
It
how
was
you
the
got
basis
that color?
for a lot of the Flavortown sauces.
All right.
This is where it came from. So yeah, A on that.
And I also want to thank you because
Yes.
not every guest shows up with a prize and a present for the host, and you brought along. Tell me what we got here. What is?
Little Santo Tequila, I
Santo
figured.
Tequila. Do you wanna do that right there? Do you want to do that? Do it there.
So I'm listening to the the intro, and first thing I said to him was, "You're crazy. You're all crazy, by the way." But he delivers. Are you going lime?
There you go. Sure, I'll go.
Cheers, Santo. What do you think? My buddy Sammy Hagar and I make that.
The Red Rocker.
Do you know the Red Rocker?
Do I know the Red
You're
Rocker?
only 4 years older than me, by the way.
I can't drive 55.
I can't drive. Well, that's.
Being on television for 20 years, you started by winning Food Network Star.
Correct.
And I understand that almost didn't happen. This is a harrowing story for everyone who wants to get into this business we call show.
Yes.
How did you actually get your break?
I have no clue what you're talking about. No, I'm just kidding. So what happened is we had to make an audition tape, and I didn't want to do the audition tape, but I was always the guy around my friends who would always push them into doing things they didn't want to do. Yeah, like definitely you should jump off this bridge. Go for it, you know? Yeah, don't
I'll
worry
film
about
you.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's exactly the way it worked. So what ended up happening is there was an audition for it. I'd never seen one show on the Food Network. I'm a chef and a cook and a restaurant owner. I don't watch Food Network. And they said, there's a show on. We saw the first season. It was awesome. You would be great on it, which sounded me to like, hey, yeah, go on show and get your ass kicked. This is going to be funny. So I didn't send in the audition tape. And finally, after getting pushed enough, I did, but I sent it in on a DVD. But when the DVD got there, they couldn't play it. But the casting director took it home. It happened to fall out of her purse. She recognized it and said, oh, I never got to play it. Played it in her DVD player. It worked. Took the DVD player out of her home stereo, took it back to the Food Network, and played them my audition tape, which was ridiculous. It's still on the internet. It's ridiculous because I was trying to make for sure no one would call me for the audition. That didn't work.
Wow.
Evidently.
And here you are today.
Here I am hanging out drinking tequila with you.
Fantastic.
Got it. Hey, and just so you know at home, this is actually my tequila. This is not a water bottle. Oh, boy.
Okay, what was young Guy Fieri
We're
like?
half shotting it?
What?
We're half shotting it?
I'm still working.
Oh, yeah, you got a
Yes,
show.
I
I'm
got a
only on
show.
here in the beginning.
You're not my
Okay.
last guest tonight. All right, was Flavortown always the destination for Guy Fieri?
Flavortown was this mythical place that every time I would try something really great, the first time I think it started, is I had this gigantic pizza. It was like this big, and I held it up, and I'm like, look at this thing. It's like the steering wheel on the bus going to Flavortown. That's all I said. And then I said it a couple other times about a manhole cover in Flavortown, and then people started walking up in airports and going like, hey, Flavortown. And then someone yelled at me and called me, it's the mayor of Flavortown. I looked at my film crew and I'm like, what's that about? Like, you keep repeating this Flavortown thing. And then it just turned into something, and now there's Flavortown foods and sauces and you name it, and residents, and I am the appointed mayor. I became the mayor of Flavortown, but somebody appointed my son as the prince of Flavortown.
So there's a democratically elected mayor and a hereditary prince at the same time? Flavortown is in the United Kingdom?
We have... Something is wrong.
I want to ask about, did you grow up in Flavortown? Like, were you cooking as a kid? Was your family all into, like...
I grew up in an amazing little town called Ferndale. So have you ever seen it? No, it's a real name. It's a real name. Did you ever see the movie Outbreak with Dustin Hoffman?
Yeah, sure.
About the monkey?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the
Really
town.
about more than the monkey, but go ahead.
Well, I think the monkey was the main part of it,
Okay,
you know?
go ahead.
So that's a little town called Ferndale. It's in Northern California, up by Eureka. It's a little Victorian village. It's an amazing town. And so I grew up there, and I was always into food. And matter of fact, I mean, I was so into food that I used to fake being sick to stay home to cook. Now, I gotta explain why, though, because my parents were really into macrobiotic cooking. And,
what does that mean?
you know, really healthy.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of steamed fish and bulgur, and yeah, exactly. Now I love steamed fish and bulgur. But the thing was, I went and stayed the night at my friend's house, and they had a whole loaf of meat. And I'm like, what in the...
Do you mean meatloaf?
Well, yeah, but then it was just a whole loaf of meat. I was so amazed by this. I'm like, why do they get to have a loaf of meat? So I came home and told my parents, and my mom's point was, if you don't like the way we cook, then you cook.
Oh, that's good.
So I was the brave 8-year-old. I went to the store. You could sign like the Waltons. You know, you could sign for the check there at the counter.
Sure.
And I asked John Maselli. I said, what do I cook? I want to make steak. So I think he sold me some ribeyes. I said, what do you make with steak? And he goes, pasta. I didn't know that you cooked the noodles separate from the tomato sauce. So we did that. That worked out. I was 8. So my parents come home. They had a small little business there in Ferndale, Dave's Salary. They come walking in, and my dad's 6'3" with cowboy boots, you know, 7'10", you know, when I'm this big. And he comes in, and, you know, I'm cooking steaks. I just remember cooking them in the pan with butter and soy sauce. And I made the pasta, cooked in the tomato sauce, probably not the most al dente, and I served it to my parents. And my dad I was just happy we're having meat, not loaf of meat, cuts into it, takes a bite, sets down his fork and knife, like, oh man, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna be out in the barn stacking wood tonight. And he goes, you know what, Guy? Might be the best steak I've ever had. Oh. And that was it. That was it.
Fantastic.
That's what I wanted to be a chef. That's what I wanted to be a cook.
We have to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Guy Fieri, everybody. Stick around.